If I had to keep only 10 fragrances for this summer, I would care more about performance and scent profile and that complementing factor. A little bit more versatility, not that much price personally. So at number 10 would be definitely Percival by Parfums de Mali. If you like something fresh, herbal, citrusy with some roots at the 80s, 90s with a little bit modern touch, a balance between 80s, 90s and nowadays, I have to say to this one, I would go with Percival. It is like citrusy, I get ton of lavender. It is not that modern, not that creative, but definitely appealing, long-lasting and complimenting. I can say to this one herbal, fruity and woody. I get ton of ambroxan at the base of the fragrance. I like that woody, modern dry down of this one. Lasts on me 10 hours plus and 2 hours of good projection and sillage. It is not a beast mode fragrance, but definitely above average. I can say a long-lasting, strong, appealing fragrance. At number 9, I have a very underrated fragrance from House of Montserrat. I like that the stance of this fragrance as it is very different. You don't get something wow, but it is not like mainstream, fruity, woody, extremely sweet, bubblegummy fragrances. It has a very rare type of scent profile and it is like out of that designer territory, but still it is appealing, not daring. I'm talking about Melody of the Sun. Such a beautiful fragrance. If you like fragrances like Under the Lemon Trees, like Terre de Hermes, you can get some whiffs like those fragrances, especially like Under the Lemon Trees, but it has its own character. You get some similarities, but it is a totally different fragrance, I have to say to this one. It is very little floral. It is like earthy, like wet soil, and it is soft woody because of vetiver at the base. And it is definitely citrusy. So I would say to this one like earthy, woody and citrusy fragrance and gets muskier at the dry down. It is such a great complementing fragrance. I would say to this one like 7.5 out of 10 in terms of compliments. But when I layer it with Aventus cologne, for example, it is like 9 out of 10 something. It is like even more complimenting than Aventus itself or, for example, Dior Sauvage. It is such a rare, outstanding and at the same time appealing fragrance. It lasts on me 10 hours plus. Projection and sillage is not loud. It is like cloudy, soft and airy, but definitely noticeable. I can get like 2 hours of loud but inoffensive and powdery, let's say airy type of projection and sillage out of this one. Number 8, also another great complementing fragrance, but not a safe blind buy worthy as it is oceanic. And oceanic fragrances are not for everyone, as they say it is like eggy, fishy, seaweedy. I can see that, but for me it is great and works great with my body chemistry and gets definitely compliments. I'm talking about Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Eau Intense. I believe it is the best in the line. So also very beautiful. Also a different type of scent profile. You can't get that mainstream woody, synthetic and sweet bubblegummy fragrance type. Here definitely it is like herbal, it is very little floral, it is oceanic, aquatic, has that seaweedy vibe to it, and it is like citrusy, but citruses are not that clear. It is a very well balanced type of citrusy fragrance. It is not like to your face, but you can get definitely hints of citruses at the top of the fragrance, but it is mostly in that herbal and oceanic side. For this type of freshie, has a great performance, like 12 hours plus on my skin, and projection and sillage is solid. I can say like solid 2 hours, and it is loud, but as it is an aquatic type of fragrance, it is inoffensive type of loud projection and sillage, and definitely at top 10 most complimented fragrances in entire my journey. At number 7, this one is also one of those complimenting fragrances, one of the most complimented fragrances in my collection. Again, not a safe blind buy worthy. I don't mean that is a daring fragrance, but it is not for everyone as it is powdery, and I can see mostly people don't like powdery notes, but I like it. I also don't like powdery notes, but in this one and Amouage Reflection Man, I like that powderiness. Prada L'Homme. Smells a bit unisex, or I can say it is a modern masculine fragrance. It is not like oudi, smoky, woody or fougere. It is like floral, powdery, bright, fresh and sweet. Smells like hygiene. It is a very clean smelling fragrance. Some say that is soapy. I don't get, to be honest, a soapy vibe out of this one. For me it is a floral, powdery and sweet, bright type of fragrance. Nothing soapy, at least to my nose. And I can get like 10 to 12 hours plus longevity. It is a long lasting fragrance, but not strong or beast mode. It has a huge projection and sillage, but in a soft way. It is like a room filler, but soft, inoffensive type of projection and sillage. Gets definitely compliments, and I will keep it forever in my collection. I think I have 2 backup bottles, 150 ml. At number 6, this one is right now a must-have for me, but at the very first impression I didn't like it. I have to admit that I'm not very good at the very first impressions. I don't accept that easy new members in my collection, also in my life, I have to say. But after I received few compliments, like after 6-7 hours after applying, I thought, okay, I'm wrong. I was thinking it is like 10 minutes lasting type of fragrance. Acqua di Gio Profundo, and I was thinking why they ruined that beautiful Incensi dry down of the Profumo. Yeah, but I believe this one is happier, more youthful compared to the Profumo, and reducing that Incensi notes or removing that Incensi base works great with this DNA. It is sweeter compared to Acqua di Gio Profumo and regular Acqua di Gio. We have here added sweetness, and that masticky vibe gives the fragrance a very happy and summery feel. So in the brief, it is aquatic but not oceanic. It is like watery, juicy, clear type of aquatic. It is masticky, resiny. It is sweet and very appealing, clean and happy, youthful type of fragrance. Lasts on me 10-12 hours plus, but I get very fast nose blind to this one based on the compliments. I say like 10-12 hours plus, and projection and sillage, I can say it is solid for 3-4 hours. Now we are at top 5, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet and you think my videos add value to you, remember to subscribe and support me by your likes. I really appreciate that. Number 5, we have here Dylan Blue. To be honest, it is not as complex or as pleasing as, for example, Profundo, Melody of the Sun, Percival. Nothing wow here, but it is a magic juice. For whatever reason, it gets like 2-3 times better compliments compared to all of those fragrances that I already mentioned. For whatever reason, I don't know. This is like shower jelly. It is also not a safe blind by Worthy. Most of my friends don't like this one. It is Incensi, smoky, earthy, and darker at the dry down, but opening is like very little citrusy, mostly shower jelly, and has some sort of green feel at the betweens. I have like few backup bottles, 200 ml, 100 ml, 50 ml, 30 ml from few batches. The newer batches last on me 8 hours, 7 to 8 hours plus. The very older batches like 12 hours plus was a beast mode fragrance, but right now is above average in terms of performance on my skin, and projection and sillage is always good, especially in the breezy days. Just projects like crazy, and when I am sweaty, smells like more smoky and earthy on my skin and gets crazy compliments for me. Number 4, it is an inspired fragrance, cologne, yeah, at some points maybe, but it is also different compared to the real stuff. I am talking about Missoni Wave, which is very close to Chanel Allure Sport and Versace Pour Homme, but it is thicker and longer lasting compared to both of those fragrances and gets definitely better compliments. So I had the chance to get this one when it was 30 bucks. Right now is around 60-70 bucks. I don't believe that worth that price, like 70-80 bucks, but 50-60 bucks is still worthy in my opinion, as it is a great complimenting fragrance. If you are into fresh, blue and extremely appealing fragrances, this one is a must-have for you. It is like safer at some points compared to the Chanel Allure Sport, as it is less powdery compared to those fragrances, and that's aquatic, watery feel, and that citruses are boosted here. So it is more, I can say, citrusy and aquatic compared to the Chanel Allure Sport, but instead of that powdery note, here it is creamy. With 6 to 8 sprays, I can get 10 hours plus longevity out of this one, and projection and sillage is loud and inoffensive, like airy, aquatic type of projection and sillage. At number 3, unfortunately a discontinued fragrance, but I have few backup bottles, and one of those fragrances that I will keep it forever in my collection. I'm talking about Acqua di Gio Profumo. It is still tightly available here. You can find it by like half an hour internet search, but if you can't, you can go after Acqua di Gio Parfum version, which is literally the same juice, more herbal compared to this one, in another bottle. Just they changed it a bit and rebottled it, I can say, but you're gonna get like 80-85% similarities. Acqua di Gio Profumo is one of the best aquatic fragrances. For me, it is mature, like the bottle, transparent, dark, and at the same time clear. It is herbal, aquatic, and incensey at the dry down. I really enjoy scent profile of this fragrance. It is versatile, it is like dressed up, dressed down, and it is mostly in that casual side rather than dressed up. I said in several videos, every single factor about this fragrance is 10 out of 10. I have no complaint about this one. Scent profile, out of this world. I really like it. Niche snobs mostly don't like this one. Performance, price, right now no, but always was one of those 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10 fragrances in my collection. Number 2, another fragrance that I think I will keep it for a long time in my collection, and especially for this summer, Aventus Cologne. I prefer it right now over the regular Aventus, as we have lots of great colognes around Aventus, the very first reason. And second one, if we have to compare both of these fragrances without including the colognes, I have to say this one lasts longer and it is more appealing compared to the Aventus. It is like fruitier version of that fragrance, and they reduce that smokiness, and it is better, a well-balanced, more well-balanced fragrance compared to the Aventus, and lasts longer. So if they can make this fragrance last long, why they don't do the same thing to Aventus? I don't understand. For example, I can get with this one 8 hours solid, and with Aventus max 6 hours. I can get longevity. Projection and sillage is good, not very good, but it is good for first 2-3 hours. And complementing factor, to be honest, Aventus is a little bit better compared to this one, but right now I enjoy this one better. I feel I get a better value from my money by purchasing Aventus Cologne rather than regular Aventus. This one is like citrusy, gingery, and very little aquatic, which reminds me of Chanel Allure Sport, in that genre aquatic, not oceanic. And that the smokiness is way at the background, and it is also very little, some sort of woody nuances is here different compared to the Aventus, so it is also a sour and citrusy woody fragrance. Number 1, this is one of those few niche fragrances that I have backup bottle on. I don't have that much backup bottle of niche fragrances, they are expensive. Amouage Reflection Man. Definitely backup bottle worthy for me, and scent profile is different compared to like 99% of fresh summer fragrances. You can find some similarities between this one and Prada L'Homme in terms of that floral powderiness, but they are totally two different fragrances. And I like that powderiness in both of those fragrances, these fragrances. So it is like more oriental compared to the Prada L'Homme. It is like very little spicy. You can get that oriental waves or atmosphere of fragrance as it is Amouage, but it doesn't have that signature of Amouage like incensey, woody, nothing here I can say daring or too offensive. It is powdery, floral, very little green. At some points like green woods, I have to say to this one, but it is mostly in that powdery and very little sweet side. Both of my bottles are reformulated. I mean, they are magnetic, and the non-magnetic bottles are the very first batches, but I can get like 10-12 hours plus longevity with this one, with another backup bottle as well. And projection and sillage is good for first 2 hours, and definitely gets solid, crazy compliments. Take care, guys.